Hello. Hi, everyone. I know it's still a few seconds before 2 o'clock. Hi, everyone. I would love to see you in the chat. If you could just say hi, that would be great. So I know who you are. That would be so lovely if you're guided to do that. Thank you so much for being here. And so delighted to be starting these transmissions on YouTube Live. I've done a lot on Facebook Live. I've done a lot on Instagram. And I certainly have a lot of videos on YouTube, but YouTube Live is a new platform and it feels just right. So thank you, whoever is here live, and thank you those of you who will be listening to the replay. And if time permits, which I believe it will, those of you who are live, if you want me to pull a card for you at the end, I will gladly do that. You just need to let me know now that you are here so that I know that you're here. Nancy, hey Diane. And Roxana, so good to see you. Namaste. So yesterday we did our opening ceremony, right? We grounded, we called in our circle of protection and love and grace. You know, Mother Mary came in so strongly, right, with her winds of abundance. She was blessing all of us. And so today we're going to continue. I want to start actually with the card, the Mother Mary card that I pulled. So yesterday, if you remember, we got Our Lady of Manifest Miracles. Can you see that? My lights. Today, we got one of my favorites, which I know I say that a lot because really they're all my favorites, but I really, really love when I get this card. And this is number 22, Our Lady Who Prevents Interference. Look at this beautiful, gorgeous card. And listen to that message, Our Lady Who Prevents Interference. So there's no subtlety there, right? She's being very, very clear. So I want to read just a little part of that to jumpstart us into today's gathering. So it says, and so really take this in, because I prayed and I was like, okay, what is the overlighting message for today as we continue our journey on day 2, right, of Priestess healing with Mother Mary. And not just Mother Mary. Today I'm wearing my Mary Magdalene pendant. So there are so many ascended masters that Mother Mary works with closely, and Mary Magdalene certainly is one of them. So this is the message. It says, your inner light is growing, my beloved. So take that in. Your light is growing. That's why we're here, because you're feeling that your light is growing. And what does that mean? What it means is that the blocks that we have to connecting with our own light are being released. Because in truth, we're all these beautiful divine beings. But Mother Mary's here reminding you, your light is growing. It says, and through love, you are attracting many who can be nourished by you. So how beautiful. That is really the role of the priestess, right? How do I define priestess? And my signature priestess path really is that you are committed to channeling unconditional love towards yourself and towards the world. So here, there's this validation. Your light is growing, and through that growth of your light, you are nourishing so many. And this isn't about codependency or rescuing, right? This is like just being the person that you are. You're like radiating this light. As the love in you blossoms, there are others who are captured in fear, who may feel threatened by you and wish to obstruct your growth. I am your salvation and protection. So really take that in. So many of us who are called to this priestess path, whether you use the word priestess or not, whatever you use, we have this fear of stepping into the spotlight, right? We have this fear that if we do that, we are going to be vulnerable. We're going to be attacked, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, and we will be judged. You know, many of us have had past lives where we've experienced that. And Mother Mary here says, in case you didn't hear it the first time, she says, you shall not be harmed, nor shall you be swayed from your inevitable spiritual success on my path of love. I prevent spiritual sabotage from succeeding, right? The success on your path through me is the triumph of spiritual freedom. So how beautiful. So it's this validation, I feel, Mother Mary so understands, right? Understands the fears. Hey, Michelle, so good to see you. Understands the fears that come up in spiritual leadership, right? That come up as you step onto your priestess path, your teacher path, your beacon of light path. And she's saying through when you do that, there are so many that are going to be attracted to you. And there's also others who are in fear, and there's no judgment, right? So this isn't about judging people. It's just like there are the reality that there are people who are, for whatever reason, don't want the light to continue to blossom and grow. But Mother Mary is saying, fear not. I am your protection. I am here clearing the way so that your spiritual success will happen. Why? One, because she trusts you. She knows what a blessing you are. And two, because as you succeed, the world succeeds. Hey, Zoe and Sophia. So glad you're both here. They're joining us from Ireland. So happy to that you're here. Thank you. So Mother Mary, this is her role. She is here saying you will succeed on your path of love. Now, this doesn't mean that we do not have difficult feelings on this journey. I'm sure all of you here watching, or those of you watching the replay, we hear a message like this from Mother Mary, and it might feel so beautiful, or you might have resistance to it. Wherever you are is perfect. However, what can start to happen is, even if you trust that, even if you believe that, we go back to our everyday life and things happen and fear comes up and worry comes up and things that come up that might seem like a crisis or very dramatic or painful. And this is normal. This is the human life. It doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. And so Mother Mary here, Our Lady who prevents interference, which I don't know if you can see, she's holding a baby, and there's a tree and roses. There's just so much beauty in this image. And reminding you that throughout all of it, as you keep shining your light, as you keep being the light, quite often in the storm, right? Quite often in those dark places, that no harm shall come to you. That is what she is saying here. And there's something incredibly powerful when we practice living our life knowing that truth. So it's one thing to hear it now in this moment. But the real invitation, right? The stretch for all of us is in our everyday life, through the mundane, through the things that feel like a challenge, and everything in between, to keep reminding ourselves that we are here as priestesses, as earth angels, as medicine women, medicine men, as shamans, whatever word, that we are here to shine our light regardless of external circumstances. And we can and when we feel the fear, when we feel the worry, the nervousness, and sometimes, for me, for example, it's what I've noticed, that sometimes it's the hardest with the everyday things. So what I mean, and you might relate to this, when something really big happens, right? A loved one is sick, or, something that feels really big. Often, if we've been on the spiritual journey long enough, we know, we pause, we stop, we gather our tools. Not always, but often, if we've been doing this for a long time, we might ask for help. It's all the other times, which are most of the times, that we can go back to old habits. So, for example, something as small as feeling like we don't have enough time, right? I know that's something I'm really facing right now, that fear, that worry that comes because there's my ego, my intellect can look at my goals for creation, even for starting on YouTube Live, for finishing my book, for all of this expansion, can look at that and think there's no way I can do this. Or can think I can do this, but I need to hustle and I need to just push and put off self-care until this gets done, or put off meditating, or all sorts of things. And yet those are precisely, right? Those are precisely the times when we come back to knowing, first and foremost, that your own soul always has your back, that your soul, that Mother Mary, that all of these divine beings, they operate outside of time. They understand that we live here in the earth plane, right? They understand that. And at the same time, when we align with them, when we commit to them over and over and over and over, we start to understand, like, oh my gosh, we're stepping into the realm of miracles. That suddenly something that, for example, just using the time example, something that felt like that your ego might have said, oh, this is going to be so hard, it's going to take 2 hours or 2 weeks or 2 years or whatever it is, that when we keep coming back to that promise that your soul has made to you, to the promise that loving beings like Mother Mary has said to you, when we come back and we surrender to that, we allow miracles to pour through us. And those include time and finances and cooking. I don't know why that's coming into my awareness right now, but all those little mundane things, in Course in Miracles, it says there are no small upsets. And it's really just saying how those little things that might seem like, oh, that's not big enough for me to pray about, or that's not big enough for me to ask Mother Mary for help with, there are no small upsets. They all are equally affect our peace of mind. And so your peace of mind, that's one thing Mother Mary really, and I wanted to talk about, is how your peace of mind is such a precious gift, not just to you, for sure to you, right? Like, I love when I have peace of mind, but it's a precious gift to the world. When you can be that, how yesterday I talked about all of us being altars, like walking altars, when you can be an altar of peace. And again, this doesn't mean you don't feel your feelings. It's just that you keep committing to coming back. You keep committing to, like, wait a minute, I have this intention to be peace, to come back to that peace that passeth understanding, right? As was said. Like, that is what this world needs. That is what will transform all of the chaos and crisis and pain and challenges and everything that's unfolding in the world. That is what's going to bring forth the miracle. And although I know part of this journey, this 7-day journey, is you getting clear, right? Yesterday, that question, what is your special task in April? Right? And really the bigger question, what is your mission? What are you here to fulfill? And that can feel very lofty and big. And so today, Mother Mary's really bringing it back to the everyday, moment to moment, how your practice and your commitment to cultivating that peace of mind and cultivating that compassionate wisdom, your soul's wisdom, how powerful and precious that is. And that when you do that, the other doors of opportunity, those other quote unquote big part of your mission, because it's all big, will open up and will flow with much less effort and much more grace. And so I'm being guided to bring in this teaching, and then we'll do the meditation on it. Of, in my first book, Answering Your Inner Calling, I talk about the interrupter rituals. And so this is an invitation Mother Mary is giving us, and there's always an up-leveling of interrupter rituals. And so what are those? And those are, I intentionally did not call them meditations, because I know that when I was writing that book, I had such clear guidance that it needed to be approachable, not watered down, but approachable. And that for some people, the word meditation, they just had such a negative, such like beliefs, like, oh, I can't meditate. Oh, I don't have the time to meditate. Oh, I'm not, all of these things. But this idea of these little rituals throughout your day that could literally take a minute, where you pause, where you, my favorite is like pause and bring your hands to your heart, and you just tune back in, right? You connect back into your heart. This is such a powerful, it's so simple that our ego's like, that's not going to work. Our ego likes to complicate everything. But spiritual truth is simple. So this is so simple and yet so powerful. And because I practice this, because I've coached many of my clients and students through this, there is so much resistance that comes up around this little practice. So let's say that you committed, right, for the next, for April, that you would do 3 interrupter rituals a day. And each one was a minute. So we're saying 3 minutes a day. And they're going to be spread out, right? So maybe you do one in the morning, one in the middle of the day, one in the evening, or however you want to spread them out. And in fact, when we do the meditation, you're going to do an inner journey with Mother Mary and your soul to look at your day. And so she can guide you, like, where could these interrupter rituals come in? And the reason I call them interrupter rituals, in case you're wondering, it is based on a documentary that I absolutely loved called The Interrupters. And it was these violence interrupters. They came to neighborhoods that had a lot of violence, and they interrupted the violence, not with violence, because that never works, but through their compassionate wisdom. Their compassionate wisdom and their compassionate witnessing. They might have not called it that, but that's in essence what it was. And it was so powerful to watch these people commit to doing that in neighborhoods that had a lot of violence. And so when I was writing my book, I was thinking like, okay, I kept getting this guidance that one of the practices was going to be having these rituals throughout the day that would interrupt that frenzied urgency, that habitual thinking, that programming, that conditioning that can happen in our day. And I thought of that movie, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really felt like when we ignore our soul, when we hold back from loving ourselves, that is an act of violence against ourselves. I really believe that. And so I was like, and that's where the phrase was born. So in case you're wondering. So let's say 3 minutes a day. What's going to happen during that time? So let's say that you decide, okay, when I get up, I'm going to bring my hands to my heart. I'm going to take some cleansing breaths. And it might be something as simple as you saying, lead me today, soul. One thing that I pray every day in the morning, to me, soul, higher self, Holy Spirit, I kind of use them to mean the same. And I say, Holy Spirit, let your agenda be fulfilled, not the ego's. I say that 3 times. So that's one of my interrupter rituals. I just say, like, every day when I start my day, that's one of the things I say, like, Holy Spirit, let your agenda be fulfilled today, not the ego's. And I say that 3 times. And I can't tell you, when I first started that, how it seemed like the simplest thing in the world, and I would forget all the time. I would start and then my mind would go somewhere else. And finally I was like, what is going on? And I realized that my ego understood how powerful that mantra was, that prayer. And it was trying to distract me in all sorts of ways. So it took real spiritual effort to be like, I am going to say this. And now it's been about a year and it feels very integrated, but I still come back to that. So yours will be whatever you want it to be. And of course, you don't have to do this. This is an invitation, but we're going to go into the meditation and have you check in with your soul and Mother Mary and see what, she said, I am the lady, how interesting, Our Lady who prevents interference. And what is one way that she's going to prevent that interference is for us to pause, that sacred pause throughout the day, to come back to our heart. And so let's go into our journey. And I see Nancy and Diane and Roxana and Michelle and Zoe and Sophia. And if anybody else is here, I'd love for you to say hi, just so I know that you're here. And we're going to step into this meditation, this journey, where you're going to ask your soul, where is your soul wanting to interrupt the ego? Where is your soul during your day saying, here in this moment, come back to your heart? So I invite you to close your eyes. And I invite you to connect with your beautiful body. Hey, Myrna. And I invite you to connect with your legs and your feet. And I invite you to connect with the earth. And just feel those roots. We did this yesterday, right? So this anchoring continues for the 7 days. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that today. But just feel those roots going down your legs, out the bottoms of your feet, deep into the earth. And then breathe all of that earth energy up to your crown, and see your crown open and radiant as well. And feel your beautiful circle of grace around you. And I'm acknowledging the circle of grace around this whole group, around this whole 7-day journey, for everyone who attends live and everyone who watches the replay, whenever you watch the replay. It is woven into this transmission. There is a circle of grace, of love, protection, miracles, healing, transformation. And so then land in your heart, and in your beautiful heart, start to feel or notice or imagine a beautiful light. And I'm seeing it as this flame, this beautiful white flame. And interesting, this white flame is going up, so it's within you, and it's going to go up to your third eye. So if you want to bring your hands, left hand to your heart, right hand to your third eye, just for a moment, to feel that connection, your heart and your third eye. So it's like this flame connecting both of these. And then there's a little flame here in your third eye point and a little flame in your heart. And so these two powerful centers are working together as you step into this journey. And so I see now this ray of light coming out. Visualize this ray of light that's coming out of your third eye and out of your heart. So they point together almost like a triangle. And out of this, a beautiful path emerges. And you're standing on that path. And you're standing on that path with your soul and with Mother Mary and any other guides that you want to be with you. And you are going to watch a little movie of your life, of a typical day. Almost like in It's a Wonderful Life or Christmas Carol, where like the characters watch themselves. So you're going to watch yourself from morning when you get up all the way to when you come back to bed. Now, I know your days are different, but your soul's going to show you just a typical day. And remember that you're looking at this with your soul and with Mother Mary. So there is no judgment. They are not doing this in any way to critique you or evaluate you. This is all love and all support. And if any feelings of judgment come up, please know that it's from it's from parts of you. And you can have compassion for those as well. So watch this movie of your day. You got up. Watch, I don't know what your morning routine is, but watch what you do in the morning. What time do you get up? When do you eat breakfast? Brush your teeth? Maybe you take a shower. Do you go to school or work? Just kind of watch. And depending on your life right now, you might have a lot of things. Maybe you're doing a lot of caretaking. Maybe you drive or you take walks. Maybe you see clients or students. And just keep going through lunchtime. What do you eat for lunch? How do you eat your lunch? Who do you eat your lunch with if you have lunch? Continuing to move forward. Afternoon. Going then to who do you spend time with? What are the conversations you're having? Notice your energy. When does it go up? When does it go down? Going all the way to nighttime. Well, dinner. Have your dinner. Maybe you watch TV or you watched a show. Maybe you exercise. Just watch all of it. Just see it. There's no judgment. Just trust whatever your soul is showing you. All the way until you come back to bed. You're watching this movie of an average day in your life. And so Mother Mary and your soul are going to rewind. You're going to go back to the beginning. And your question now that you're asking your soul is, beautiful soul, where in my day are you guiding me to do an interrupter ritual, to do a sacred pause? And just notice what your soul highlights for you in your day. Perhaps it's at the beginning of your day. And your soul does not want to complicate your life. So what does this interrupter ritual look like? Maybe you're just putting your hands over your heart. Maybe you're saying an affirmation. Maybe you're visualizing your roots going down into the earth. What is it? And then have your soul show you 2 other times during your day. Remember, this can take a minute or less. So have your soul show you 2 other times that you can do interrupter rituals. Remember, interrupter ritual is in essence where you're saying, I'm going to spend time with you, soul. I'm going to connect with you and receive from you. So go ahead. What are the 2 other times during your day? And what does it look like? And now, see your soul and Mother Mary. They are blessing your days. They're blessing your days, and they are infusing your days with reminders, beautiful sacred reminders, so that as you go through your day, you remember like, oh, wait, I'm going to pause. That's right. I'm going to take a moment to receive from my soul. That's the most important thing right now. And so as that happens, Mother Mary also now stands before you, reminding you of the opening message, right? She said, I prevent interferences. So she is inviting you into a place of trust. What would it feel like if you absolutely trusted that Mother Mary, that the Divine Mother has got your back always? That she is clearing the path ahead of you, behind you. And she's asking, like, really, really, in law of attraction, there's that exercise, that playful exercise. Act as if. What if you really move through your day believing that, knowing that not only Mother Mary, but these other divine beings like Mary Magdalene and Jesus and Green Tara are part of your spiritual team. What would it feel like in your body? And so she sends a transmission to start to initiate that in all of us, a deeper awareness of that in our every moment life. And so with that, she also says, before we end this inner journey, for you to know that she is with all of your loved ones. That if there's someone you are really worried about, feeling this kind of over responsibility to protect them or keep them safe, that you don't need to be in a place of worry, that's depleting. It's unnecessary. Come back to that place of trust, and it is a practice. So coming back, thank your beautiful soul. Thank beautiful Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, and all the beautiful angels really that are here. Come back to your heart and your third eye. And we ask your soul to recalibrate these centers, especially your heart and third eye, to an appropriate size for everyday activity. And we ask your soul to integrate all of this healing and love and activations across all space and time through your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual body. And so we bring the palms of our hands together and we bow to each other. And we end this journey with a namaste. Namaste. And if there's, I don't think I said this, but I would suggest you have your journal with you during these journeys. If there's anything you want to write down from the guidance that you received about your interrupter rituals, please do that. Write down, what was the guidance that came? Where did you receive? For me, it was interesting. it was like morning and nighttime. They were like, you've got that. But like lunchtime, they were like, you need something right around lunch, like a moment where I pause and I stop and I come back. And for me, that's what I saw. I just bring my hands to my heart and just what really came to me was something I've been saying at night a lot, which this is a big deal. I won't go into this too much, but I've shared already how for a long time I couldn't use the word God. I mean, growing up, that's all I heard. And then as I went through my whole spiritual healing journey, the word God just felt so limiting. And now, I love the word spirit and divinity and universe. All of those speak to me, but God also speaks to me at times as well. So at night, I'm like shocked that I've been using the word God. And what I just say is like, I love you, God. And I've just been saying that. Like, and I feel it like, and what I've come to understand is like, we are one with God, right? We are one with source. So in essence, it's like a real beautiful self-love practice. So I think for me, an interrupter ritual during lunchtime is going to be that, just to bring my hands to my heart and say that. Because, what happens when we say that is we're releasing all the toxic energy that religion has put around what God is, that it's punishing, that it's a male, that it's judgmental, all of that stuff, right? And I feel like we're reclaiming what is source. And so for me, that's what that means. So all right, my dears, and I meant to say this at the beginning. I had said this in the what am I saying? In the newsletter that I sent out, that I was going to pull an oracle card for anyone who was here throughout the transmission, if you want me to. So if you would like me to do that, please put yes, and I will do that. Tomorrow, I believe the transmission will be at 2 again. If not, it might be 2:30, but I'll send it in my newsletter in the morning. So please, if you're not receiving those, you can do that, and I will do that for you. So I'm seeing Nancy says yes. This is from the Soulful Woman. So I'm going to go quickly on these. Nancy. Oops, this is Nancy. Inner wellspring. I have an inner wellspring of love that luxuriously overflows with abundance. How beautiful, an inner wellspring of love. That so perfect. And wait, I have Myrna. Okay, I'm still getting used to how the comments come up here. So again, this is from the Soulful Woman deck. This one here. It's beautiful. Myrna. Yes, Myrna said yes. Okay. Myrna, following my truth, believing in and following my inner truth helps me live an authentic and empowered life. So beautiful. And I have Michelle. Boundaries, Michelle. It says, my clear boundaries allow me to protect myself, nurture my intentions, and follow my true self. And for everyone, I meant to say this before about the Oracle card. These are really extensions of the teaching, right? So it's really connected to everything we were talking about before. So boundaries, clear boundaries allow me to protect myself, nurture my intentions, and follow my true self. Here you go, Michelle. Laura. Go. Laura. Igniting my joy, attuning to the highest good in myself and others ignites my natural joy. I love that. Attuning to the highest good in myself and others ignites my natural joy. Look at that. It's so interesting because the screen I see is mirror image from what it actually is. So I'm still getting so used to that. It's like, why is my room looking like that? But anyway. Okay. And Roxana, I believe, is next. Roxana. Time of fallow. Creative manifestation occurs more easily when I have nurtured myself and honored my time of fallow. So in case you don't know what that means, because I didn't when I first got this card, it's a very powerful card. And it talks about like in farming, where they're preparing the soil before they plant the new seeds. It's like this time to go within, this time to pause, this time to reflect. It's like the new moon energy, the dark moon. It's very powerful. So I'll just add that, Roxana. Diana and Patty, and then we'll be done. All right. Diana, sanctuary. In my inner sanctuary, I connect to peace, inner quietude, and comfort. How beautiful. Look at that. Perfect. And remember, everyone, it's recorded, so you can go back and see. And then Patty, so glad you're here. All right, Patty. Service as co-creation. My service, no matter how great or small, is a conscious act of co-creation with the world. This Patty. I love that she has a nest on her head. All right, everyone. This was so, I love connecting with you. Remember tomorrow to bring your journal, because I feel like there's going to be more of those kind of like journal prompts in the inner journeys. And also remember that there's a lot of things coming up. In May, I do have an in-person retreat. If for those of you who are in the Chicago area, or maybe you're traveling over here, it's a all-day retreat that I'm super excited to be leading. And the Sophia Circle journeys start in May, the end of May. And I'm really, if you want to spend a year, right, it's a transformative journey once a month that we meet over Zoom. You can go to my website and read all the details, but it really is a retraining of our energy field to connect with our higher self, to have our higher self, our soul lead the way. So I'll put the link in the description if you want to read more. All right, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.